This is Sean. This is Connie. And this is Chloe. Sean's an expert waterfowl hunter who knows just how to find where the birds want to be. Connie's a novice hunter with a passion for the sport and her pilot eye on the sky. And here's Chloe, hunter in training. Every day is an adventure for this family. And while duck hunting is the ultimate destination, the researching, scouting, preparing, and mentoring are the journey they truly enjoy. Duck hunting might only be open 2 months long, but for Sean and Connie, the season never ends. Welcome to Swift Waters, the year-round duck hunters.
Hey, I'm Sean.
And I'm Connie. Welcome to Swift Waters.
Hey, it's glad to have you guys here. We thought we'd take a quick evening out to a local spot. We're only about 10 minutes away from the house. Sometimes those are the best hunts when you can just sneak them in, kind of very spontaneous, but you did all your homework ahead of time. You know exactly where you're going to go. And this happens to be one of those spots.
For Connie and Sean, the season never ends as they're always scouting for new locations, both in their home state of Wisconsin and throughout the U.S. Connie's pilot license comes in handy when wanting to get a real bird's eye view. An aerial perspective provides great vantage points of water sources and access locations, to name a few. Connie and Sean also scout locations by foot, as seen in the previous episode. Sean's impatience in the blind led to bumping some birds for Connie to shoot and finding a new pothole to which the couple then moved. Later in the episode, Sean and Connie will be taking the boat out for some off-season water scouting. In the meantime, they're working on another form of preparation, sharpening their shooting skills.
One area that we wanted to touch on is kind of the off-season staying in practice. And
And everybody needs that. I do, at least.
and what we're doing is we're packing up. We're going to go out to one of the local gun clubs that we shoot at quite often. But that brings us to a very interesting topic. When you're shooting, consistency is key. When you're shooting waterfowl, you're looking at moving targets, so peripheral vision. And one of those areas is, are you right eye or left eye dominant, and are you shooting right-handed or left-handed to accommodate your dominant eye? I happen to be left eye dominant. For some odd reason, when I was 12 years old taking hunter safety, my instructor identified I was left eye dominant, gave me the 22 long, right, and left-handed, and I've been shooting left-handed ever since. I right-handed everything else, but that's the deal, and it's worked out well.
Unlike
Connie,
me, I grew up shooting right-handed. A few years ago, discovered I'm left eye dominant, shooting a right-handed gun. So, converted over to shooting left-handed. I went all in. Determination, practice, and patience, and it is paying off. But I still need to be repetitious. So on the off season, then we're not able to go hunt. We go to the trap range, sporting clays, or skeet, and that's where we're headed today.
With trap, there's only one location that the clay pigeons come from, and those targets rise up and move away at different angles. Skeet is similar, but there are two source locations, which means targets tend to cross paths, offering the chance for a double hit. With sporting clays, it's more like being out in the real thing. Typically, there are different stations set up, similar to a golf course in the woods. At each one, you take multiple shots, with the targets coming from different directions at every station.
So one aspect of shooting, especially when you're hunting with multiple people, is kind of understanding just what we've been talking about, left-handed versus right-handed. Some of the benefit of the two of us of being left-handed is when you got a row of people hunting, i.e. for snow goose hunting, say
Right.
8-10 people, right, where are we?
We're at the end.
Yeah.
We are at the end. The position's at the end, not in the middle. So it's kind of nice to get a little bit better opportunity to
It's all
get
about
more.
the swing, right, when you're pass shooting. So obviously when we're up, our poles are completely different than a right-handed shooter. Comes to our advantage here and there, and we totally take advantage of it.
Most waterfowl hunting, either freshwater or field, is done at a distance of 35 yards or less, with the ducks passing by from one location to the next. Shooting ducks boils down to properly shouldering your shotgun, precisely timing the shot, and following through, all in a split second. Since your opportunities are limited, making each shot count is crucial.
One of the trigger points that led us to even questioning which eye Connie was dominant shooter is that when we're out at the trap range, she's hitting, and all of a sudden, bam, she'd have some, wacky shot and wouldn't connect with it. And it was just very erratic.
And it's frustrating because I know I should be able to shoot that.
So we had, the guys at the trap range that are out there either pulling, but a lot of them you bump into, they're instructors, they're shooting the circuits. And right away, they came over, stood behind Connie, and they're looking at him like, man, you're left eye dominant. So we did that age-old test.
Want to know which eye is dominant for you? Try this simple eye exam that you can perform anywhere. Extend both arms straight out in front of you and flex your hands up. Using both thumbs and pointer fingers, form a triangle with both hands together. Select a target that is about 15 to 20 feet or so in the distance. Frame the target in the triangle. Keeping your aim focused on the target, bring your hands towards your face, making sure to keep the target in sight. When your hands reach your face, it should be over the eye that is dominant. While there are exceptions to the rule, if you're right eye dominant, you should be shooting with your right hand, and vice versa if you're left eye dominant. If you try to shoot cross-dominant, as Connie was doing with her left eye dominance, right-hand shooting, the gun has to cross over your body more and can affect your aim.
So, feel free to, just check. If you find you are, left eye dominant and you are shooting right-handed, it's not the end of the world. There's a lot of techniques that you can use to be able to try to, compensate for it. Some guys put a patch over the one eye to keep it shut. Other guys, just try to keep it shut. It's whatever works for you, but if you do it, we would encourage you to try to swap. Just take practice. Hey, that's a tip of the week, right?
Yep. So let's head to the range.
All right, let's go get all our stuff. Well, we made it down to the Mississippi. We just launched the boat. We're in a little bit of a back estuary. We got everything loaded up, including Miss Chloe. We're going to play a little bit safe and test the motor just a bit. We're going to go upriver, because if it dies, we get the current to bring us back down to the launch.
One of the first things Connie and Sean have to do is run through a quick but thorough check. They take a walk around, scanning for anything out of place, such as tire condition, wheel bearings, and tie straps. They also check the boat for loose items and do a general inspection of the fuel cell, battery, electrical, and fire extinguisher.
Okay, one last thing, before we get the boat in, we've always got to get the drain plugs in place. Like any boat, we've got a bilge pump and a bunch of wires down in here, but you seat it in well, screw it in, lock it in. Worst thing you want to be able to do is drop it in and all of a sudden get water up to your ankles and you're trying to figure out why.
Additionally, Connie and Sean also make sure the lights are working. Then they do a mechanical check to the motor, including oil and grease points. Since it's a surface drive, they run the motor on the boat prior to hitting the water. If it's in good working order, perform a few routine maintenance tasks to keep it that way.
One thing you'll see as the season progresses, a lot of guys get highly modified boats. We love them. I think all guys love their toys. Waterfowlers love to get into different gear, and as you can see, we've blown this motor apart and completely rebuilt it. A couple of reasons. One, it's just cool. It is awesome when you start it up. The other part is it'll get us in spots where guys don't go. The downside is we'll get into spots where nobody goes and we get stuck back there.
Oh yeah. We've been in some areas that we probably shouldn't have been in, but
yeah, we'll wedge it in full trees.
Sean figures
Saturday night we had to leave the boat. We got so stuck. But anyway, we'll get down here. Today's spot is pretty local. Not many trees to hop over. we selected a spot very specifically because the way we hunt is we'll go after a specific quarry of birds. And that's either time of year, migration pass, and it's not like anybody else doesn't do the same thing.
It's weather conditions as well.
Sean and Connie also have to make sure they have what they need in the boat. Things they always carry with them are a first aid kit, a fire extinguisher, and some emergency tools. Like a saw, wire, jumper cables, ropes, anchor, paddles, and some miscellaneous hand tools. They also have to make sure there are life jackets on board for every passenger.
All right, safety first.
Tuning and tightening up your boat is a smart investment of your time. It keeps your boat in good shape, but it's also an opportunity to spot any potential hazards before they become major problems.
I have been struggling.
Mr. Sean has.
The old stump jumper for, well, since I did the Jamboree over in Michigan, the Michigan Mitten. I hit a stump, busted the Kevlar pelt, took out the clutch, breakers, everything else on it, and we have just been
Struggling. He was up late last night putting more parts on it, so we really haven't had a chance to even test drive it.
No.
So,
yeah,
it could be interesting today.
And when I did test drive, I was back in the garage redoing stuff. So, yeah, we'll see. So part of it may be, rescue on the Mississippi River.
That always makes for interesting.
And as you can see on the bow, I have more tools than a race car driver.
Even with the hunting season not open for months to come, it's not uncommon for Sean and Connie, along with Chloe, to spend their free time looking for the next great place. After all, at Swiftwaters, it's all about being where the birds want to be. And Sean and Connie's passion to explore new areas is endless. During a 4-day weekend last spring, Sean and Connie left their home in Wisconsin to tour hunting sites in Arkansas, Missouri, and Tennessee. The couple had planned to stop and sleep somewhere for the first night, but with the excitement of new places to see, they kept right on driving, arriving in northeastern Arkansas at early morning. After spending the morning in Big Lake Wildlife Refuge, Sean and Connie headed for St. Francis River, making it there by early afternoon to enjoy the rest of the evening on the water. From there, they were off to Lake Wapapello in Missouri for a morning scouting trip that included breakfast on the shoreline. Then they packed it up, and it was off to Reelfoot, Tennessee for an evening. The couple grabbed a remote cabin and were up early to catch the sunrise over the flooded cypress grove. Midday Sunday, Connie and Sean packed up and started heading back to Wisconsin with just enough time to catch a short night's sleep before work the next morning. While that may sound exhausting to you, Connie and Sean loved every minute of it and can't wait for their next scouting excursion.
And there's some great tools out there that you can get either on your smartphones or chips that go on your general GPSs. We always run a GPS.
We always have it. Sean is great for plotting points. Stop, this is where we're at. We're in new locations and we want to get back to it because we like the area that we're at. This is a handy tool that we use all the time. We have it with us.
To be where the birds want to be, it's all about their biology. Or in Swiftwater's language, their duckology. Today's duckology lesson, blue-winged teal. This small dabbling duck is a very fast flyer that will get any hunter's blood flowing. Pairs and small groups of this tiny dabbling duck inhabit shallow ponds and wetlands across much of North America. Blue-winged teal are long-distance migrants, with some birds heading all the way to South America for the winter. Therefore, they take off early on spring and fall migration, leaving their breeding grounds in the United States and Canada well before other species in the fall. Blue-winged teal nest among grasses or herbaceous vegetation and forage in summer in shallow ponds or pond marsh mixes. They're flightless during their late summer molt, and they spend this time in prairie potholes or large marshes. Migrants use marshes, vegetated wetlands around lakes, and rice fields. Blue-winged teal eat aquatic insects such as midge larvae, crustaceans, clams, and snails, as well as vegetation and grains. Laying females eat mostly protein-rich animal matter. In winter, seeds such as rice, millet, and water lilies are the predominant foods. Also take note that the blue-winged teal will have a clutch of 6 to 14 eggs, with only one brood and staying on the nest for approximately 40 days. For more information from Swiftwaters about blue-winged teal, visit our website.
All right, well, one aspect of what we've been talking about is scouting on the water. So, we use the rig quite a bit to be able to do that, but there's a lot of work that goes up into it just before we even get into the boat itself.
Yeah.
We look at aerial satellites, we look at all the DNR wildlife maps, we look for public land, we make sure we got access into it.
Sean and Connie seek out backup locations for a few reasons. The obvious is that ducks can move easily. Months prior to the season, ducks may be in one location, but come hunting season, they may have moved somewhere else due to things such as predators, food availability, or nesting sites. The second is in case other hunters came upon the same great spot you did. On public land, sportsman etiquette is first come, first serve, and you don't want to hunt on top of another hunter. Last, scouting far in advance may mean you don't know who will be joining you on your hunt. Tricky access points and lots of gear aren't typically great for the newbie hunter, so locations that work for varying skill levels is good to know.
That's a key of how we do scouting, to see if it's going to be easy enough to get into, or you're going to fight a whole huge group of people come hunting season.
We also keep in mind that we like to bring new people out, and sometimes they're either handicapped, they're younger or older, and they don't always have the ability to get in and out. So we'll look at access points from the roads, how far we got to drive to get to the water itself, if we can get the boats directly in, what type of boats we use, maybe canoes, which we're not using today.
No, but we have that access as well,
yeah.
And we also, we have walk-in sites, which are really nice.
Connie and Sean are scouting today in a mud motorboat, also known by the nickname Stump Jumper. However, on their scouting trips, they often travel with multiple boats so that they have the ideal equipment for the location. The type of water they're boating on, lake, river, creek, slough, determines the kind of boat they'll need. The duck boat has morphed from the little John boat skiff to an all-welded quarter-inch thick hull with high-performance engines that enable us to cover larger distances faster. Now, Stump Jumper can handle impact from stumps, rocks, and sandbars well for the most part. Canoes and kayaks are great when portaging is necessary. Sean and Connie have water scouting down to a science, and just like skilled researchers and scientists, they keep detailed notes and records of water level and climate changes in order to better understand the effects on food sources and predators.
Well, we're just made back a little further in. As you can see, the water level is still receding down. 3 weeks ago, we were out here and I could drive the boat literally across this portion of the dike. So, you're also seeing the foliage is coming in. It bloomed up over the last weekend. The trees are starting to bud, and we've starting to see some duckweed out here as well. And we're also not seeing the ducks out in the normal nesting area. Due to the high water, they are actually blown way back into the woods.
At the launch where Sean and Connie load and unload their boats, the couple measure and document the water level using a fixed object, such as a tree, sign, or bridge. They check this same point at different points throughout the season, using a checklist of dates, locations, and measurements. In the spring, the water is typically higher, caused by the melting of Wisconsin's winter snow. High rain years mean water levels will be up, whereas dry, hot summers will cause the levels to be low. Connie and Sean monitor the levels all year long, right up to the hunting season. This gives them important information in selecting a site, as well as when items such as concealments, decoys, and calls will be necessary. When nesting is occurring, food sources are also important, but to predators. If the nest is in a predator area, the nest may never produce any broods. Predators need food as well. This is the cycle of life. If the nest does not produce any young, hunting may not be good in that area.
We're leaving our marsh area. Not too successful a hunt. There were a lot of wood ducks, but they just flew out a different direction than what we thought. So we're heading to a different location, and we're going to see what we can do there.
Sean and Connie's sausage recipe uses 50% duck of any species, 40% pork shoulder, 10% bacon. After all, isn't everything better with bacon? Liquid smoke, Lowry's seasoning salt, mask, honey, and berberine. Simply mix all of the ingredients together and use it in all kinds of ways. If you'd like to try this recipe, go to Swiftwater's Facebook page for the complete recipe.
Glad you guys could join us. Keep in mind, we're actively out every weekend, year-round, not just during the hunting season. And you got to tune in next time, because the secret is this girl's a pilot, private pilot license.
So come along, we're going to do some aerial scouting and you're going to have a blast.
Yeah, that really takes scouting to a whole nother level. So this is our one, fun piece, but man, she brings it just full boat in. But anyway, hey, thanks for joining. And if you guys got any type of hunts that you like to share with us, throw it out on Facebook. We'd love to hear about it. Thanks a lot.
See you around next time on Swift Waters.
We're the year-round duck hunters.
Got a boat mishap story to share? Connect with us on Facebook to let Sean know he's not alone.